The movie reviewed in this episode is rated R. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Scary Movie Nights podcast, a bi-weekly podcast where the scares are real, but the friendships are realer. Tonight, we will be reviewing one of the best slasher films ever made, in my personal, honest opinion. Scream, released in 1996. Now, that's the OG, all right? That's Mariana.
And that's Joanne.
And we are your hosts for the evening. But first, Mariana, let me ask you, what had you popping popcorn this weekend?
Speaking of, we don't have any today.
Bro. The irony of that.
That is kind of really funny.
No, it's currently burning on the stove.
Yeah.
So if you hear the fireworks.
Yeah. We're probably going to get a phone call any minute now.
Any minute. And I'm ready for my trivia.
Yeah. The Thing? John Carpenter.
There you go. That's the first one. Your favorite scary movie.
Yeah.
And then what was the second? It was Who's the Killer in Halloween?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jason?
No, bro. You know what, Mariana? Logan, I'm sorry. You are the first to go. Anyway. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
oh,
that's exactly what happened.
I got it.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
It's me. Okay, got it.
What had you popping popcorn this week?
This week, I'm popping popcorn for Heated Rivalry.
Period.
And I have been for weeks now. Popping the popcorn for Heated Rivalry. Yeah, obsessed. Can't get enough of it. I'm just like, give me more.
That's so true. I am so happy that the gays are finally getting the national recognition they deserve, because listen, we are hot, we are good at sports, and we're entertaining. The trifecta right there.
The Holy Trinity.
That's all you need. HBO, thank you. The Holy Trinity.
Holy Gay Trinity. Joanne, what had you popping popcorn this week?
What had me popping popcorn this week? Despite my complaints, I am actually really glad about two things. One, that I'm like really busy doing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying doing podcast stuff. I'm like slow burning, ramping up to do other stuff. Like there's segments I want to do, and like there's more reels I want to record, and I have like all these ideas kind of swimming around in my head. I'm also starting a Dungeon Master business, as you know, which is it's going to be really fun. I have my first campaign this Friday, which is going to be super awesome. I'm so excited. I'm getting ready for that. We're running Fendelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk, which is the campaign that you guys were doing, actually.
Really?
Yeah, that we never really finished.
No, we didn't.
So I'm gonna read, because I do want to finish it. It seems so interesting,
yeah.
And it is like kind of like a dearly beloved like love letter to one of the original campaigns released at the very beginning of the 5th edition. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also really excited about all of the times we're going to hang out this coming weekend. One of those times involving a Heated Rivalry rewatch party. I am so excited. The first 2 episodes are like the hottest 2. Although I will say my favorite episode is the 3rd one.
Really?
Kip and Scott, yeah.
Episode
100.
5 is my personal fave.
Episode 5 is great.
Episode 3 is a close second.
That's the one with the running all the things she said.
All the things she said remix is at the end of the 4th episode.
Oh, the
actually.
4th. The 5th. Spoilers for Heated Rivalry.
They need to release the remix.
They did though.
Where? I can't find it.
I found it on YouTube Music. I'll send it to you.
Okay, send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
But enough about that. Enough about that. Let's crawl through the doggy door for Scream. Don't get caught. That was such a great moment. Oh my God, I know. Okay, so we're going to head into our no spoiler synopsis. So listener, if you have not watched Scream because you live under a literal rock, this is safe for you to listen to if you care about spoilers. So Mar, take it away.
Here we go. Okay, Scream 1996 is a horror satire slasher film that follows teenager Sydney Prescott and her friends as they are targeted by a serial killer in a Scream mask, or in a mask. We don't actually, the mask is not called the Scream mask. We know it as that. Sydney must deal with the grief of her mother's death anniversary, her struggling relationship, the press, and a serial killer with a penchant for talking on the phone.
And surprisingly, all of those things are equally as bad.
Yeah. I think so. I think, honestly, the least of her worries is the grief about her mom dying.
Well,
she's got so much other stuff going on. It's crazy. This movie was written by Kevin Williamson, and he started writing this film after watching a documentary about a serial killer classic. He woke up from a nightmare the next morning and he wrote the beginning sequence about a possible home invasion. He took inspo from a one-act play that he wrote in college about a girl being taunted on the phone by a stranger, and he was also inspired by the movie When a Stranger Calls.
Okay.
I did not write that in, but I did read that later in my research. He was inspired by films like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, and he really wanted to use scary movies themselves as part of the plot, exploiting known tropes and rules, quote-unquote rules of horror. He originally titled the project Scary Movie. He also...
the irony of that.
He also was inspired by Psycho. In the movie Psycho, what is it? Lee Curtis? Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. What's her name?
I don't know.
I think it's...
Let me look it up.
I forgot. But in that movie, it was like pretty iconic because in the first...
Janet Leigh.
First half of the movie, what you thought was the main character, like they get killed off right away, and so he kind of was inspired by that, and that led to the first 12 minutes of this movie. I don't know if I should talk about it. Is that a spoiler? It's like literally happens right away.
No, I think it's a well-known fact.
Casey dies, Drew Barrymore gets killed, which is crazy because she got paid top dollar to do this.
Are you serious?
And she actually was originally offered the role of Sydney. And then she kind of like wanted to back out, but she felt bad, so she was like, give me a smaller role, like I'll do Casey. And so she was kind of like in all the advertisement for the film, she was like made to seem like the main character of the movie, and she's like, her face is on the posters, like everything. She dies within the first 12 minutes.
I love that so much, because one of the things this movie does really well is it does use other scary movies as part of the plot, because like they bring in all of these tropes, but then they subvert those tropes. And I think it's genius because it keeps you second guessing at every turn. You're just like, are they gonna follow the trope or not? Oh my god. And it's just it
was excellent. Now this movie was directed by Wes Craven. He directed Nightmare on Elm Street, The Hills Have Eyes, Swamp Thing, and many other things, but there's actually several references to Nightmare on Elm Street in this film, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now for casting, we have David Arquette as Dewey. Goofy little Dewey. Okay, I'm sorry. Love him. I don't like Dewey. He's annoying.
He's in the cutest way.
I think here's the thing. I think, I'm going to talk about this later when it comes to my opinions, but I watched Scary Movie before I watched Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer. So when I think of Dewey, the first thing that comes to mind is Doofy.
Doofy, yeah.
From Scary Movie.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of colored my experience.
You know what's funny? Me too. I watched Scary Movie first before I ever watched any of these. And I was like, oh my god, this is just like Scary Movie.
Yeah, and it's funny that Scary Movie is called Scary Movie when originally this was
going to be called
Scary Movie. That was the name of the project originally, and one of the reasons they chose Wes Craven to direct it is because they had a lot of other directors who were up for it, because Wes Craven was working on a different project that, eventually that fell through. But a lot of these other directors were kind of making this almost like a horror comedy, and this is more of like a horror satire.
Yeah.
So eventually it went to...
Which is different.
Yes.
Yeah.
It went to Wes Craven. We have Neve Campbell as Sydney Prescott, Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers, Matthew Lillard.
Bro, the cast, I'm sorry, but like the cast is so iconic.
Well, some of these people were not super well known at the time. Like they're super iconic now, but like Rose McGowan, Skeet Ulrich, Neve Campbell, I think they did The Craft together, actually, Neve Campbell and Skeet, his name is Skeet, crazy. Skeet Ulrich. Jamie Kennedy, W.L. Brown. Drew Barrymore was like the biggest name on this project, and
for sure.
her character dies really early. We also have Henry Winkler in this movie as the principal, but he asked to not be credited in the film.
Really?
And actually in the closet, like when he's in his principal's office, he's only ever in the principal's office, but there is a leather jacket, and it was the leather jacket that he wore when he played the Fonz.
Oh my god, that's cute.
We also have Linda Blair in this movie.
Yes.
Which is really
like
cool.
a hot 2 seconds.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds, she's a reporter. And then we have a little cameo from the director himself as Fred the janitor, and he's dressed like Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, which I thought was really funny. I did notice that. I was like, that guy's dressed like Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
But I didn't know that was Wes Craven.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Now, Craven, when casting for Gale Weathers, did not believe that Courtney Cox would be great for this part. So she wrote him a letter, because he was like, oh my god, she's like way too nice. Like everyone knew her from Friends as Monica Geller, but she was like, she wrote him a letter assuring him that being a bitch wouldn't be a stretch at all. So
I wonder if she was a total bitch in that
I'm
letter.
actually a total bitch in real life, so this is no problem.
Dear
for
Wes,
me. Fuck
you. First of all. Second of all, fuck your mom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny, but I think she ate as Gale.
Oh my god, yeah, for
like,
sure.
I love to hate Gale. Like, I fucking hate her, but I also love to hate her, and she kind of
love to hate Gale.
Her
and
hair,
you know what?
Like, everything. Her fucking highlights.
I mean, it's everything about her is amazing, and she's giving very much like fashion forward, because she kind of like her fashion really reminds us of like reminds me of like early 2000s sort of like styles. So I'm like, okay, she was like ahead of her time. I'm sorry, that icon. And what I love about Gale Weathers too is that, and this is kind of a little bit of a spoiler for all of the rest of the movies, but she is that bitch in every single one of the rest of the movies. Yeah. Like her character stays true to her character, and I love that.
And I definitely grew to like her a lot more. Well, at the end of the film, I feel like there's a little bit of an arc there.
Yeah.
And then I liked her a lot in Scream 2. So we've only ever seen Scream and then Scream 2.
Okay.
Okay. Matthew Lillard was cast as Stu. I don't know how to say his last name.
Stu Macher.
By chance, after he was accompanying his then girlfriend on an unrelated audition that was taking place somewhere else in the same building, and the casting director saw him in the hallway and asked him to audition, and he was offered the role on the spot. Like Wes Craven
was that his first? Was that his like first role?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, he'd been acting in other things, and then later. I think Freddie Prinze Jr. also auditioned for Billy. He didn't get it, but he did go on to star in I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was also written by, Williamson. Okay, now for production, the Scary Movie title was changed to Scream because one of the producers was concerned that Scary Movie would lead audiences to think that this was a comedy instead of a horror film. It's called satire, but I feel like this movie's more like meta than satire itself. I don't know.
I mean, I can see the satire in it, and it does have a little bit of like comedy.
Yeah.
The timing of like the kills and stuff like that reminds me a lot of comedy timing also.
Yes, I agree.
Which I think is one of the reasons why it works so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for filming, for the high school that is Westboro High in the movie, they had chosen Santa Rosa High School, and it had gothic and castle-like imposing visuals, and they had scheduled for 10 days of filming in early June at the cost of $30,000 to $50,000, but permission was revoked in 1996 by the Santa Rosa School District. The change was ostensibly because of the disruption filming would cause during school hours and scheduled exams, but several school board members objected to the violent content in the script, and hundreds of locals attended a council meeting to debate against and for the production, and ultimately the board voted against allowing filming. And Craven estimated that the disruption and location changes caused by the decision cost production about $350,000. Including the $27,000 that they paid for this like community center. for 3 days of filming there, and they had to like make it look like a high school. And the disruption to filming by the school was not forgotten. And in the film credits, it says, "No thanks whatsoever to the Santa Rosa City School District Governing Board." Isn't that so petty?
And F this girl in particular.
Fuck you, Sarah.
Yeah. Barbara, I don't know her.
Literally. Now, for the script, the killer's mask or appearance was not really described. It just said that they had a ghostly white mask. So they actually hired a special effects company, KNB EFX Group. They commissioned them to design a mask, but the filmmakers disliked their gargoyle-ish, witch and goblin-like mask designs. And while they were location scouting, they came across what would become the Ghostface mask. It featured a white shroud, which they got rid of because they didn't have white mask. They didn't want to have the white mask with a white shroud because it kind of looked like the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh.
So they opted for the black shroud, like with the white mask.
Yeah.
But it was designed by some random design, Brigitte Slyerton, as the peanut-eyed ghost for the novelty company Fun World in 1991, and it was based on a design by a makeup artist. However, Craven and the studio, they wanted to own the design, which I think was really smart for marketing purposes.
Yeah, I agree.
So they tasked KNB EFX to create a similar but legally distinct design. They like stretched the nose and the chin, but they didn't even like it, so they eventually just purchased the rights to the original Fun World design.
God, KNB EFX sucks.
Yeah, literally. No, I don't think it's their fault. I don't think it's
not
their
at all.
fault.
No, I'm kidding.
They just happened to like this mask,
Yeah,
and Fun
yeah.
World owned it or whatever.
They had a vision, you know,
They did.
and
They
they
had a
saw the vision.
Their vision.
And KNBFX did not see the vision.
No.
And that was the issue.
No. I mean, how can you have a vision when the vision has already been executed? Like, you can't
Correct.
do something that's been
Like
done,
when the vision is literally in your vision, how do you envision another vision?
Yeah, literally. Yes, what he said. Exactly that, yeah. Now, the film's 42-minute end sequence at Stu's party was filmed at night over 3 weeks, and this party scene, it was shot over the course of 21 days from the time the sun set to the time it rose. So they could only shoot at nighttime,
Right.
obviously.
That makes
And
sense.
after it wrapped, the crew had t-shirts made that read, "I survived scene 118.
Oh my God.
That was the name
Yeah.
of the scene during shooting. They jokingly called it the longest night in horror history.
Possibly.
Now this film, when it first, like, they finished editing it, they sent it off, and it was originally rated NC-17, which was like suicide.
yeah.
So it had to be re-edited many times to cut out a lot of the disturbing imagery. They weren't given specifics about like what the problem was. Like it wasn't too bloody, or it was just like overall too disturbing is what they said, which is really vague. So directors and producers were kind of upset by that, but they had to cut it down because they definitely did not want this to be NC-17. Now, after this film was released, the use of caller ID increased more than threefold. Which I think is interesting. Imagine not knowing who's calling you.
No,
Like,
I would hate that. I would
don't
just never answer the phone, ever.
Exactly.
I would just let it go to voicemail legitimately.
Yeah, no, me. Well, was voicemail a thing?
Yeah, I think so. They had like, well, I think they were like tapes.
Yeah, you had to put them in. Yeah. Wes Craven initially removed the bit where Casey says the first Nightmare on Elm Street film is great, but the rest suck, because he thought that it would make him look like an egomaniac. But Kevin Williamson convinced him to keep it, pointing out that it's something a real-life fan would say about the movie.
Period, yeah.
I know. I mentioned this earlier. Freddie Prinze Jr. auditioned for the role of Stu, but he did get, I think I said earlier, Billy, but it was the role of Stu, and he didn't get the part. But it's funny because Matthew Lillard got the part, and then later they were in Scooby-Doo together, which is really funny. So, you know, life.
I think Matthew Lillard did a great job as Stu Macher.
I think he did a great job as Shaggy
Period,
in
yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
Actually, like, that's the thing. Matthew Lillard, he's kind of like beloved in the horror circle. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of like the horror greats.
He's the
People
screen
love
king
him.
for
He
sure.
is. I love Matthew Lillard. Loki, he's kind of hot too.
I think he's hot. I think he was hot then. I think he's still hot, actually.
Period.
I was looking at pictures of him now,
yeah.
and I was like, he still looks good.
Honestly, yeah.
Now, the budget for this film was $15 million, and they decided to release this 5 days before Christmas. they thought during the holiday season it was like too many family-friendly movies, and they wanted to give horror audiences something to see. And it opened at number 4 in the box office with 6.4 million in revenue. And that kind of led the studio to believe that this film had flopped. However, it had excellent word of mouth, and that eventually led to its success at the box office. Every week it went up and up or stayed the same. And so by the end of its run, it made over 100 million at the US box office alone.
That's great.
It currently has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. And we do have a Scream cinematic universe. There's Scream and Scream 2. And Scream 3 and Scream 4, and then there's Scream.
Oh, all by Wes Craven.
2022. Yeah, Wes Craven directed Screams 1 through 4. Kevin Williamson wrote Scream and Scream 2.
Yeah.
Scream 6. And then we have Scream 7, which is directed by Kevin Williamson. So he wrote the original script for the first 2 films. And he also wrote the script in conjunction with other people.
Did you like Scream 5 and Scream 6?
I've not seen any of the other ones. I've only seen Scream and Scream 2.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is controversial, but I like Scream 5 and Scream 6.
Is it the one with Jenna Ortega?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them.
It's good.
Okay.
Check them out. Like if it was still in the movies, I'd be like, yeah, go watch it. Like, did you like Scream? Yes, go watch it. It's good. I mean, it's not.
Is it like, are these, do they build on each other? Like, is it all continuous, or are they like separate stories?
Yeah, like Neve Campbell is at least in Scream 6.
She's in, really?
Yeah, uh-huh.
She's in Scream 2 for sure.
Yeah, they all build on each other.
Wow.
And they're all continuations. Like, they don't discard any.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
everything's canon.
Dewey is in Scream 5 and 6 as well. Wow. Yeah, David Arquette. And so is Gale Weathers.
I gotta watch it.
No, it's legit. Like,
that's awesome.
I really enjoyed it. You know, I know people are like, no, it's not good and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, are you trying to like go back to what Scream was originally?
Yeah.
Like, you can't make a movie like Scream now. I'm sorry, but like, it's just not possible. And, you know, like, I enjoyed like the modernized version of Scream. They have the great comedic timing, essentially. Yeah. They have the blonde that dies at the beginning. They have all the tropes that we know and love from Scream. It's just, you know, new characters, a new generation, which I think is good. Now, I'm really excited about Scream 7, though.
I'm going to be sad. Scream 7 is going to be good. I'm going to be sad for sure. Yeah, Neve Campbell actually, after this movie, was offered a bunch of roles in horror films, and she turned them down because she didn't want to become, like, typecast. She didn't want to be a Scream queen.
Damn, Neve.
I know, but I mean, I feel like if she's been in multiple Scream movies, that still counts as multiple scary movies. Sorry, girl. I think you're a Scream queen.
And she was in The Craft.
Yeah.
The Craft was awesome.
Girl.
And it's totally a horror movie.
Scream queen. Calling it.
Yeah, period.
Okay, I have a couple more things that are in the spoiler sections. There was a lot of stuff that I read about this movie. Like, I could have went on and on and on. But this was the stuff that really jumped out to me that I thought was interesting. Okay. And once we get into spoilers, I have like 2 more things to add.
Awesome. Thanks, Mar.
Yeah.
All right, so now we are heading into our spoiler section. So if you have not watched the movie and care about being spoiled, this is a good time to pause, go watch the movie real quick, and then come back and listen to the rest of the podcast. Because this is honestly one of those like quintessential horror, fundamental horror must-sees, to be honest, for sure. In my opinion. But you had some spoilery trivia.
Let me get into those. Just a handful of those. Now, there were 5 nights that were spent on the kitchen confrontation between Billy, Stu, and Sydney. By the time they had filmed Gale returning with a gun, Ulrich said that he and Lillard were roaming around like caged animals to keep the intensity of their performances high, to the point that Craven asked them to relax because they were scaring Courtney Cox. Lillard described maintaining that level of adrenaline as exhausting.
I'm sure.
Also, when they were shooting all of these scenes, they couldn't wash any of their costumes because they needed the continuity of the blood on their costumes. So they would just kind of like re-wet their costumes every night, and they would have to wear them again, which sounds like my nightmare.
Ew,
I know.
I hate that. I know. Oh my god, they must have smelled so bad. So that was that like 42-minute ending that they shot in like 2 weeks. So it was like crazy. Yeah. Also, whenever they had to cut the original film because of the NC-17 rating, they had to cut out a lot of the disturbing imagery, including internal organs. So they cut out a lot of the gore,
But at the very beginning of the film, when Casey's boyfriend, he is essentially like gutted. Like they cut him open, and like the way I thought this was really interesting, but the way that like SFX did it is they had like a chair without a back, and so he would kind of like be propped, and it was like the top half was him, but the bottom like here was all SFX, and you could see all of his like organs coming out of him, which you don't really get to see that much of it.
Oh, okay.
Not as much, I don't think.
Okay,
you do get to see some of it, right?
You do get to see his guts are like on the floor.
She like turns on the light. So there was that. There's also Casey's hanging body, and also Tatum's crushed head. So they cut a lot of it to make it a little bit more palatable.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they cut too much. Honestly, Tatum's death was like pretty crazy.
It was crazy, but it wasn't super like gory or anything.
No, I don't think so.
You know?
Also, I think she improvised like in that scene. She's like calling out for her mom, and like the actress improvised that.
Oh my god, heartbreaking.
I know.
For sure. So what did you think?
Oh my god, I love this movie.
Me too. It's so good.
This movie's so fun. I think sometimes I put off watching the classics, and then they're always good. They're classics for a reason. They're always good.
You know what? We need to do Nightmare on Elm Street next.
I definitely need to do Nightmare on Elm Street for sure. Maybe we'll do that one next. I also really want to do Sinister.
Sinister is great.
For one of the modern ones.
Okay,
so
I'm down.
Let's add that to the list. But it was so fun. I did not see the twist coming at all. Like, call me simple-minded. Like, I did not think Billy was up to anything. Like,
dude, honestly, me neither. I was like, oh my god, he's just misunderstood. He's like that bad boy.
I was like, he's just horny. Leave him alone.
He does want to stab. He does want to stab.
And then once you figured out that it's Billy, then I was like, fuck.
I know.
And then Stu,
but
I was like, what?
It's Billy and Stu,
I know.
which is, by the way, so queer-coded. I was like, oh my god, they definitely have done something together.
There's no
This was
way.
Heated rivalry, but for serial killers.
But serial killings.
And honestly, their plan was actually kind of genius.
Yes.
Like, they could have done... Like, I forget
they would have gotten away with it.
They would have if it went for those meddling kids. Well, technically Gale Weathers. But,
yeah, Gale Weathers.
yeah, I love this movie too. It's like a spoof movie, but like not.
No.
Like, you know, it's like scary movie, but it's not scary movie. And it's not really funny, but it's got its comedic moments, which, as you know, I think only adds to horror movies when done right.
Yeah.
Now I noticed a lot of really interesting scenes because I think, by the way. Fun trivia for me, I think this is the scary movie that I've watched the most times.
Really?
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites.
This is Joanne trivia.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites, even though I think it's extremely excellent.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I keep watching Scream for some reason.
Yeah,
and
we recently went to see it. Well, not recently. In October, we went to see it.
Yeah, we did.
In theaters. So
I know Brian and I watched it a long time ago. And we watched like all of the Screams that had been released so far. And then we watched it in October.
Okay.
And then I watched it like while working out at the gym. Mm-hmm. There was for sure one other time that I watched Scream. So I think I've watched Scream a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Which
it's rewatchable. Like, it has rewatchability, which I think is like really interesting because sometimes in movies, once the mystery is solved, or like once you know who the killer is, sometimes I'm like, oh. And then the rest of the movie is not as good. But the twist, I think, was like so good that I was just so intrigued by it. And I was still so in it. And I wanted to know like what the reasoning behind their killing was. And then even like rewatching it the second time, you're kind of, once you know what's happening, then you're looking out for it. You're like, oh, who was doing that? Where was Billy? Which one was Stu? Like, it was really interesting.
Excuse me. And like the two actors actually did a great job of that because you do catch little things every time you watch it that you're just like, oh my god, like this look meant that, or this tone shift meant that. And like there's a moment when they're like all sitting at the fountain. Remember that?
Yes.
And they're talking, and you know, Matthew Lillard's character Stu, he's like just like messing around, just kind of picking on Sydney.
Yeah.
And Billy is like, shut up, man. And Stu's just like, what? And he's like just joking around. And knowing that those two guys are the killers gives that scene a whole other context.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. And it's just like, they're actually psycho.
Yeah.
They're actually
definitely
psycho. So some themes I noticed.
Yes.
Definitely a coming of age film.
Yes,
especially for
absolutely.
Sydney. Because she starts out as this really like, oh my god, would you settle for PG-13?
Yeah, she's a virgin.
And then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the end, she's the one who ends up like kicking their asses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a cool transformation to see. Like, it's very like a metamorphosis almost, of this
Definitely.
like budding young, like, and then she's like, fuck you, and like, punching people and like all this other stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
Sex and how different it seems to be for men and for women, especially like as teenagers, where like guys really just like want to do the thing, at least back then.
Yeah.
Like they just want to do it and like experience that, and girls are like, they have to be a little more guarded, and they're not as like liberated, if you will, if you want to call it that. But it's like this weird dynamic of like two people coming together and like the pressure to have sex and then the pressure not to have sex.
Yeah.
And those are like coming at odds with each other.
Definitely. Also, like the traditional trope of like the virgin gets to survive at the end of the film.
Yeah.
And we have Sydney, who's a virgin at the start of the film, but then when she comes into her own, when she finally has sex with Billy, and then after that she kind of is forced to become strong so that she can be a survivor, and she does survive.
Yeah. So I love that. Coping with media.
Yeah.
Another thing that I found was really interesting because like there's cameras all up in everyone's face at all times, and like how do you cope with what is happening and then what people want to show like on the media, like
or
what
like
parts
how you're
of you
supposed to seem, or like what your reactions are supposed to be to like certain things versus like what your reactions actually are. Like I think especially like as far as like her mom's death goes, like everyone's kind of like looking to Sydney to see like how she's reacting to all of these events, and like I think that probably has prevented her from like grieving properly for her mom.
It's just like what is the word I'm thinking of? Like the media making a big deal out of something that's so personal, like murder. You know what I mean? Homicide or even just death in general. Sensationalization. Thank you so much. Yes. Sensationalization of something that's so horrible.
Yeah. Would you say like, or because you've seen all the Scream movies, but how does that develop throughout the Scream movies? Like once like maybe like social media and like modern cell phones come into play, like how does that
it's hard to say because it's been so long since I've watched these, but it honestly doesn't play as big of a role as I feel like it plays in this movie. I think like the other movies, they make them about other things, not like and I think that's to like the betterment of the series, like not just stuck in one thing, like they kind of hit different things throughout the series. But Gail, I mean, like I said, she stays that bitch, and
been that bitch.
She writes like I don't know how many books, like because this stuff keeps happening to Sydney. Because she's like the main character in all of the movies, and then Gail is like right there. I'm sure she's like, Sydney, you're a cash cow, girl.
Literally.
Please, like, let me buddy up to you, girl. Like, and then the last theme I noticed, which I thought was really interesting, and I want to talk to you about this, is finding out that your parents are not the people you thought they are.
Yeah, tea.
Because like as you grow up, like you have this very whitewashed, for lack of a better word, view of your parents, to where it's like, they know what's going on.
It's like you like idolize them because they're an adult. They've been the adult in your life, the main adult in your life forever. And then I mean, even if it's not something crazy like this, like I remember like moments, and I remember how I felt in certain moments where I was like, oh, like my mom is just a person.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom is just a person.
Right,
like,
yeah.
What do you mean?
I think everyone, and that's one of the key things about becoming a quote unquote adult, is really restructuring your relationship with your parents. In a way that makes them more human. Because I feel like there comes a point, at least, in most people's lives at the very least, where they've realized that like, oh, my parents, they're just figuring stuff out as well. And I mean, obviously, like, they have more knowledge and more experience, and like they can help and give advice if they're that kind of person. But at the end of the day, like, they're not going to have all the answers all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shoot, I have to figure this out on my own.
Or and it gets to a point where you're like, oh, like, I don't need someone else's input to make decisions. Like, I remember, like, I was in college and I would call my mom and be like, hey mom, should I buy this thing? And my mom would be like, I don't know. And then it got to a point, I don't even know when it happened, but then I realized, I was like, wow, like, I don't call my mom to ask her those things anymore. Like, I just do it. I just make the call myself.
Right.
Man. That's kind of cool, but like,
it's kind of cool. Well, because so what happened in Scream here, the reason why I noticed this theme is because Sydney is all. I keep want to call her Cindy.
Cindy. Cindy, this bitch is ruining my floors. That's not even the first scary movie.
Oh my god, they're all great. So Sydney slowly realizes that her mother might be the slut people say she is.
Yeah.
Like cheating on her dad and like, sleeping with an X amount of people around town, and because it's one of those things, like, everyone quote unquote knows it, and she's always defending her mom. She's like, no, she wasn't like that. No, she didn't do that.
And she's dead, so it's like really hard to be like, to talk ill of the dead, speak ill of the dead.
Exactly, yes. And so she's constantly defending her mom, but then at some point realizes, oh shoot,
they're right.
Like, she might have been having an affair with what's-his-face, and that's why Billy decides to kill, well, he claims that he killed her mom. Yeah. So, it's one of those things like, oh, like, becoming an adult, like, part of that rite of passage is like realizing that, like, even your parents are fallible. Yeah. And that's part of the horror right there. It's scary.
I think it's also interesting, like, I think there's something to be said about, like, revenge there, because, like, assuming that Billy did kill her mom, like, that should have been the enactment of the revenge. Mm-hmm. But, like, then a whole year goes by before he decides to start killing again this time. Well, we don't know if Stu was involved the first time or what, but clearly he wasn't satisfied with the revenge plot of killing her mom, and it really becomes about, like, them being psychopaths and not exactly revenge.
Exactly. I think maybe he killed her and then realized that he liked that.
Probably. Yeah.
I think all of that is cleared up in Scream 2. Okay. I just don't remember enough of Scream 2.
I don't remember either. I watched it.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. Like, I mean, the first one's the best one, but I need to rewatch all the Scream
We should do
movies.
Oh my god.
A little marathon.
we got the Lord of the Rings on the horizon.
Marathon. And I know.
Rivalry rewatch. Okay, I loved that the characters were such believable. I call them, like, movie teens. Like, obviously the actors are, like, in their 20s. Like, let's be for real. But they feel so like kids. I also found it very frustrating. Like, maybe, actually, I feel like I've always been kind of a goody two shoes, but, people are being murdered. I'm pretty sure the town is, like, under, like, a, like, what is it called when everyone has to be home by a certain time? A curfew. And they're throwing a fucking party. That's so irresponsible.
That's teenager coded,
Do better. No. But it felt like very teenager. I also really like the timing of the film. Like what is it called? The timing. I wrote it.
I mean.
Timing. The timing. I think I just also wrote the timing of the film. I really liked it. I think
like how it's like punchy, like it has like very actionable items.
It's never boring. Like they actually like I read that they added the murder of the principal. The pacing. Thank you. Mm-hmm. They added the murder of the principal because they were like, dude, no one has died in a while. So then they murdered.
I love that.
And that also helps because it helped because it was a perfect excuse at the towards the end of the party. Everyone's like, oh my god, the principal was murdered. Like, let's go check it out. And that's what gets everyone to leave so we can have this final confrontation scene. Yeah. Nice. There. At the end. I loved the 90s vibes, the ambiance, the houses. I'm like obsessed, the clothes. Yes. I love the scene. I don't know if they're at a Blockbuster, but they're like at a movie rental place talking
Girl,
about
it's Blockbuster.
It's definitely Blockbuster.
We were all going to Blockbuster, okay? There was there was competition.
Also, Randy for sure calls out like both killers.
100%.
Twice. At 2 different points in the movie, he's like, it's probably Billy. It might be Stu.
Yeah. And it's like, oh.
He was right on both counts. So I thought that was really funny
the horror
too.
expert.
What else did I love?
You know what? I loved the fishbowl camera during the killing scenes.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Yes, they used like a weird aspect ratio.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at the edges, it was like kind of blurry and it was like all very... But I love that because it gives the sense of like the adrenaline rush that you would get from being chased by a killer. Because you know, like you get that like tunnel vision when you have adrenaline and you're scared. And I just thought that was
like when you were chased by a killer, Joel.
Yeah. I have nowhere to go with that.
Sorry to bring
No, I was never chased, but I think that's how it will be.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, but it changes like the feel.
Yeah,
It changes the vibe.
I love in movies when they like try to like depict like a feeling or like a type of vision. Like I love anytime a movie is depicting someone as being high. I always think it's so fucking funny. And you know what my favorite example of this is?
What?
The Good Dinosaur.
I don't remember that.
Oh my god. I think it's The Good Dinosaur.
And you know what else? You're reminding me of camera tricks like in Jaws, bro.
Yes.
That is so good.
In The Good Dinosaur, the dinosaur and the little boy, they eat these like berries and then they start hallucinating and it's so funny and it's like a kid's movie, but it just made me laugh so hard. But I love when they're trying
drugs
to
in a kid's movie.
People being high. I love when they're trying to depict people being like scared, or I love when you see like a shaky camera running moment.
Yes.
So good. It's so good.
I love creative film. What do you call it? Cinematography.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen anything about or seen No Other Choice?
No.
Speaking of creative cinematography, what was the director for No Other Choice? Park
Chan-wook.
Park Chan-wook?
Yeah. Park Chan-wook.
Yeah.
No Other Choice. So basically, it's this paper maker guy, and he is having a really hard time getting a job. So he decides to kill the 2 applicants that are better than him for this job.
Period. You gotta do what you gotta do.
He like does all this paperwork, all this homework to figure out like who has better credentials than him, who's better like equipped than him, and he finds like 2 guys and he goes out and researches them and kills them. And insane. Great watch.
I mean, it sounds like he had no other choice.
Literally. He definitely had other choices, but anyway, he has like this, it's so good, but anyway, the cinematography was so stunning and the editing was so creative. Like they had all these scenes where they like superimposed like 2 scenes on top of each other, but like in such a creative way. It was so cool. I was like, wow, like filmmaking.
Okay, I definitely have to watch it. Cinema. Absolute cinema.
Literally me.
Dude, I also would never have guessed there were 2 killers, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that I could not.
Yeah.
I like the first time I ever watched the movie, and even the second time I had forgotten, and I was like, who is it? And like I was so gagged when it was Billy and Stu, and I also love that for me because gay. Oh, you're gonna see one of our Letterboxd reviews.
They're stabbing each other like in the background.
I mean, that's totally gay coded. That's queer coded for sure.
That's kind of gay. Can I say that's gay? Do you remember in like
so
early
gay.
2000s when you would always say, like everyone would be like,
yes,
that's gay.
That's gay.
Oh my God,
and then Hillary Duff.
We would get canceled.
And then Hillary Duff brought us world peace. Yeah.
That's true.
When she was like,
thank you, Hillary.
Don't say that's gay when you really mean something stupid. That's kind of mean. I don't remember the actual commercial, but I hope that was it.
Oh my God, wait. That's so funny. I'm going to make that a TikTok. That's going to be a reel. Okay, great. Perfect.
The self-awareness was, I think, really lent itself to surprising us about the different... So I want to go back to that because that was one of my earlier points. You have what's the horror nerd's name?
Oh,
what's his name?
It's Randy.
Randy, thank you. You have Randy trying to educate all of the uneducated masses about horror tropes, and he's like, "But you got, and then you can't show tits because then you got."
Yeah.
Or what does he say? You can't show tits till you go legit, or something like that.
I I just remembered something. I read so many things about this movie today, but
I'm sure there's
they're
a plethora.
watching Halloween, and he's explaining the rules of horror, and he's sitting there, and he's watching Halloween, and he's watching Jamie Lee Curtis, and the killer's behind Jamie Lee Curtis, and he keeps telling her, Jamie, he's behind you. The killer's behind you. And in that same scene, the killer is behind Randy.
Yep.
But the actor's name is Jamie Kennedy. So he's screaming, Jamie, the killer's behind you.
Oh my God.
And his name is Jamie, and the killer's behind him.
That's so
really
meta.
funny.
See, that's the thing about...
Super meta.
That's the self-awareness that I really love about this
film. I also love the whole thing about, like, whenever Gail planted the camera and the fact that there's, like, a lag.
Yes.
In the footage.
I mean,
so fun.
There's
like,
so many details in like little things like that that just make it. You're right. It's got 100% rewatchability in my opinion. Scream is like one of the best horror movies to rewatch because there was always something cool happening or something new and interesting.
It feels. I mean, it definitely like the movie dates itself. They're watching VHSs.
Sure.
They, it's very 90s, but it feels timeless.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Like, it feels classic.
It definitely feels like a classic for sure.
Yeah. You want to do the good, the bad, and the spooky?
Let's do it.
What's your good?
Matthew Lillard.
Period.
Matthew Lillard, if you're free on Thursday. I'm free on Thursday, and my husband will also be there with us.
Let's make it a quadruple
He's married. We can just talk. We can just chat.
Matthew.
I love the setting, and, like, I love the pacing of the film, but I love the 90s vibes. Like...
Yeah.
It's just so excellent. Everything's great. I love that Sydney rises to the challenge and she grows beyond this naive young virgin and it like subverts, the virgin trope.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love how she like kicks their ass at the end. Hell
Dude,
yes.
yeah, let's talk a little bit about that actually because I think it deserves like a lot of
scene.
Yeah, like a whole recognition, just like her character arc from beginning to end because she really is this like oh my God. And
okay, she does punch Gail Weathers at one point though. So there's that.
That's a little bit after like her friend's dead. Now she was just almost murdered and then Gail Weathers just like pisses her off and just bam,
decks her.
Bitch went down. Which that's such an iconic line, by the way. I love Rose McGowan for that. Who, by the way, Rose McGowan is going to be at Houston Horror Film Fest.
Really?
Yes, I would love to get her to sign something that says, "Boom,
damn,
bitch went down."
Wait, that'd be so funny. That's so cute.
Yeah, and I just wanted to like, I don't know, say thank you, Neve Campbell, or the writers and Wes Craven because like I really love her coming of age story. I think it's so relatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's great. I love it.
So the boom bitch went down reminded me of like I think there's wait, it also says bam Sid super bitch. Isn't there a scene in Scary Movie where one of the guys is like singing
Scary Movie 2.
Scary Movie 2? What is he singing?
It's like let me show you how it looks like. Shorty is trying to teach Cindy how to be cool. Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, son. Oh, tight." Remember that?
Yes.
Yo, that jacket is tight. Now run that shit, bitch. Yeah, I mean.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I love Scary
cultural appropriation.
It's so horrible.
And Anna Faris's white ass. She's eeting. It's so funny. She's so funny.
She's like, girls, somebody got their jacket stolen today. You better watch out. Okay, so my good. Yes. Were you done with your good?
I'm done with my good. Okay, yes, I was about to ask you.
Everything that you said literally took the words right out of my mouth. But I also love the self-awareness. I think that deserves a third mention because I think it's what makes the movie so great. And then last but not least, the acoustic version of Don't Fear the Reaper at the beginning when Cindy and Billy are like, we see them together for the first time. Excellent.
Yes.
And it's even spookier when you know that Billy is the killer.
Reaper. Yeah, he is the
Reaper. Yeah, correct. Yeah. What's your bad?
Sex before marriage.
Don't.
That's it. I don't have any bads. I don't really have any complaints about the movie. I think it's aged pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say. What about you?
Same. I think it's like what I wrote is, I think it's perfectly everything that it sets out to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, could you knock it, like, personal preference-wise and maybe some other stuff? Maybe. Yeah. But... So, like, it's not trying to be those things.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it was meant to be, and it is that perfectly.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
What's your spooky?
My spooky is the fact that Billy played the long game just to get this revenge is insane.
The scheming. That takes.
I did love some of these kills. Like, I like the gore. Like from the beginning, I forgot to mention it in my good, but I love the first 12 minutes of this movie. Like the opening scene with Casey, excellent. Drew Barrymore, love you, love your Bob, Cunty Bob. Amazing. Loved it. Yeah. What's your spooky?
Yeah, the first 17 or whatever. Drew Barrymore was excellent in this film.
So good.
She was awesome. Her acting was great. That initial scene, my heart still races when I watch it. I was like, is she gonna get away? Yeah. Obviously, I've seen it like a million times, but I wrote, those MFers were relentless.
Yeah.
That's pretty spooky. I mean, they were out to kill, and they did a lot. Yeah,
and they were like definitely psychopaths because they were just
100%.
completely normal, completely unaffected.
Yeah.
Like, just living life as if nothing had happened, as if they hadn't murdered a bunch of people. Crazy.
Yeah. I also think that the betrayal of Billy, like Billy's betrayal of Sydney, is pretty horrible. Like I just like really hate that for her. Like she really opened herself up in a vulnerable moment, and then he took advantage of that.
And he has the gall, the audacity to gaslight her whenever he gets arrested, and it's like, oh, a call was made, so it must not be him. And he's like, I can't believe you thought it was me. Bitch, it was you.
It was him.
That was
the
crazy.
Gaslighting is actually insane. And I think, especially back then, I mean, maybe now even still some men do this, but I think it was probably worse back then, of like the manipulation that guys would employ
definitely.
to, you know, be able to have sex and all that stuff, and it's just so disrespectful. I like really hated that and I'm glad she shot his ass.
Also, it was just like, so I loved what you mentioned earlier about how like whenever you're like with teenagers in movies, like boys are like pushed and praised for having sex, and women are pushed to not have sex and praised for not having sex. And like, how can those two
There's a
coexist?
weird pressure, like, you know? Yeah.
Crazy.
It like the system works again. I mean, at least be consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sex is such an intimate thing, and it's such a part of being human. We talked about this before. You know, that it's like either teach everyone to have sex and be okay with it, or teach everyone that it's something to be like more valuable, but we need to like agree as a culture because you can't have these two opposing forces. And I think that's where a lot of the problems arise. Personally, I think that we should educate people in how to have safe sex, because people will have sex.
Definitely.
And you want them to do it safely.
Agreed.
It's such an inherently human thing anyway. But anyway, all right, let's get to the rating. Let's rate this movie by how many times you would punch Gale Weathers in the face. You go first, Mar.
I'm going to punch Gale. Honestly, this is a 5 out of 5 for me. I'm going to,
100%. Yeah, 5 times out of 5. I'll punch her 100 times out of 100 if she'd let me and it wouldn't kill her. But I mean, I don't really want to punch Gale Weathers because I love her.
I love her.
I think she's so cunty.
So cunty. She's so cunty. Her cunty highlights, like everything.
I mean, everything. She is the moment.
Like at one point she pulls up in like a neon like little like pantsuit.
And the way she flirts with Dewey. Just like,
shameless.
You know, they say I'm most popular with young men from 19 to 25. Guess I just missed you by a year. And then he was like, you know, I was 25 for a whole year.
And then they got married.
They did get married, and then they did get divorced, and it's a whole thing.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry to them.
Now we're going to be looking at Letterboxd reviews, which Mar has not seen. So go ahead, Mar. Take it away. You get the first one.
Let me see. J. This review may contain spoilers. Gale Weathers setting up her camera immediately after surviving a serial killer attack. Story time, I almost died. No clickbait gone wrong.
Hashtag
She
forgot the
wastes
safety.
No time.
No time.
Literally crazy. Like
When I say get the camera, it means move your fat tub of lard ass.
that would not fly today. That would not be greenlit today.
That's what I'm saying.
God.
You cannot make a movie like
so
Scream
funny.
nowadays. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This one's by Muriel.
Muriel.
When he tells you The Exorcist reminded him of you. Oh. Dude, when Billy said that, I was like, there's no fucking
That's crazy.
He's about to say
and
this
the
to
fact
this
that
girl.
Linda Blair is in it. Crazy.
That's true.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This is by Cara. Oh my god, I've been reading this review may contain spoilers every time Okay, well, just two guys taking turns stabbing each other because they're not gay.
You have to do it with the song now.
Wait, what's the song?
You know that one that goes, two dudes sitting in a hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Okay, two guys taking turns stabbing each other 5 feet apart because they're not gay. It doesn't work too well.
We'll take it.
Thank you.
That was good. This was by Lily. Killer, what's your favorite scary movie? Me? I don't know. Check my letterboxd.
The way that I would
Me?
be like, okay, well, I mean, listen.
I mean, do you like
Are we talking
2000s,
slasher? Are we
like
talking folk? Like paranormal?
Any director?
Yeah.
What kind of scary movie?
Okay, this is by Amaya. Ghostface, when I don't answer the phone for the 17th time, is this bitch for real? That is so funny.
I mean,
that's me.
That would literally be me, yeah.
This bitch for real.
And that about does it for today. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed the podcast, tell your friends about us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and rate us 5 stars in whatever app or podcast service you use to bring on the spooks.
Please follow us on our socials by going to scarymovienights.com or looking us up on any platform. You can also message us through our socials or by sending an email to spooky@scarymovienights.com.
Tell us in the comments what you think about Scream 1996. How many times would you punch Gail Weathers in the face? Bam! What bitch went down? I'm Joanne.
I'm Mariana.
And thanks for joining us for another Scary Movie Night. See you in 2 weeks. Stay spooky. Dun, 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 dun. We're so hardwired for that, bro. That's awesome.